Bloomsbury. 00801. As quick as you can. Hello? Is that the cab rank? Is 803 there? He's waiting for me to call him. Tell him to come at once.
Hello? 803 speaking. Right, I'll come over right away.
Cab's here, sir.
Liverpool Station, please.
Liverpool Street Station it is, sir.
Whitehall. 78350.
Yes, SD8 speaking. Yes. You certain of your information? All right, I'll pass it on.
Where to? Liverpool Street Station. No luggage, just a briefcase. Right, thank you.
Good morning, Hooper.
Good morning, sir.
Anything exciting happening today?
I was right, sir. X3 is on the move.
We shall make you a credit to the intelligence department yet, Hooper.
Thank you, sir. I've given orders not to pick him up until the last possible moment, in case there are others in it.
Quite right. Where's he off to?
Liverpool Street. Carriage train, they say.
Good. Get on to our people then.
Excuse me, sir. Would you be good enough to come with me? The embarkation officer would like to have a word with you.
No, sir. Nothing in his boots. No. Nor his clothes. Nothing in his papers. Just wallet and passport. Yes, sir. We've tried his overcoat. And the things in the briefcase. And the briefcase itself. But he can't have had anything on him, sir. We've been through everything.
But what about his hat?
His hat, sir? Where the devil's his hat?
Fell in the water. We never fished it out.
Get it! Yes, sir. We're just checking up on the hat, sir.
Good man. Now let's have a look. Draw the curtains.
Yes. We've got a picture of that place in our files.
That's the aeroplane. Calvert's attesting to the air ministry.
But that isn't the Calvert's Works aerodrome.
No, they're not testing now. There's a nice intimate close-up for you. All right, Hooper, you can pull the curtains again.
Yes.
Well, Hooper, this looks rather promising to me.
Well, I don't understand, sir.
Let me have the Calvert file.
Yes.
If only I'm right, we're going to make old Hamilton retire into the garden and eat worms. There ought to be a picture of Shipton in there. Yes, that's Shipton, all right. Calvert's secret experimental place down on Salisbury Plain.
But surely this is very serious. I understood that the Air Ministry were counting on these experiments. And if there's a leakage...
Oh, of course it's serious, but that doesn't prevent it being funny. I offered to help Calvert's by putting a watch on the place and got properly snubbed for my pains by old Hamilton, the chairman. Ours is a rotten profession, Hooper. Why did you ever come into it?
Well, chiefly because my father was in it, sir.
Well, I suppose a taste for being kicked in the pants can run in families the same as anything else. Got any more about Shipton?
10 miles northwest of Salisbury.
Not many people knocking about there as a rule. That part of the plain is pretty deserted. What about personnel?
Chief designer Horton, supervising engineer Madison.
Any wives?
They're both married, sir.
That's a pity. Women are always an infernal nuisance to our profession. Where do they live?
There's a house on the aerodrome. They share it.
All four of them?
All 5. There's Peter Thurlow, the test pilot, as well.
Bachelor.
Yes, sir.
What's his record?
Originally, he came from South Africa, took up civil flying, and developed into one of the best test pilots in the country.
Come on, we better get down to some work. He's getting up there.
All right.
Hello, you there, Peter? Hello, can you hear me? Over to you. Hello, Thurlow. Why the devil don't you answer me?
Probably got a date with an angel.
Over to you again.
You ever tried telephoning when you're standing on your head?
I finished the flow test. I turned the old crate inside out. The flow was steady all the time. I've got the figures.
Now what do you want?
Do the climb test. Go up to 15,000 and do the climb test with the overcharge blower. Over to you again.
Going up? And Mangary baby linen dustbins and lanterns.
Concentrate. Over to you.
I am concentrating, Blaster. I'm making notes on 12 different things at once. If I go much higher, my heart will stop beating. Would you like a few notes on that?
Please may I get down now? My goggles are frozen under my nose. Over to you.
Let her run. Over to you.
She is running. I forgot to bring up the handkerchief. The engine's just about red hot. Over to you.
Okay, bring her down.
Everything okay?
So far. Now we've got to check up on the barograph when he comes down.
Good, and then we can commit trickery.
What's that?
Old English, I have one.
That's fine, old boy. What's the matter? Cold?
Cold? Frozen stiff. You try being up at 20,000 with no heating.
Why didn't you turn it on?
I couldn't find the switch.
The switch. How'd she fly today? Change everything as it works better?
No, you don't, Bill. Why did you shift that switch from where it was yesterday?
Well, I had a brainwave last night, old boy. I thought it'd be a simpler layout if I slipped it under the airspeed indicator.
It would have been simpler still if you told me, wouldn't it? Pudding-faced machinery juggler. You couldn't hold down a job in a pram factory.
Now, steady. No larking about. Get out. I want to look at the instrument board.
Any chance of enlarging that octane bottle at all, Bill? It was half used in 2 minutes.
Might let you have a couple of pints.
I could do with a couple of pints myself.
Hold on. I've heard from old Hamilton. We've got to complete the final test in a fortnight.
A fortnight? I shan't have time for reconstruction. All the safer for me, a glorified plumber.
Plumber with foot. We've got to work on this tonight, Bill.
Oh, tonight? What's the matter, Bill? Got a date?
Oh, nothing very important.
Oh, just another of those blonde barmaids.
Nothing of the sort.
Brunette.
That's right. What?
Vive la brave sport.
Parlez-vous français?
Mais oui.
No, what?
I don't know. You started it.
We've got to improve the cylinder cooling before the final test.
Oh, that mean altering the layout?
No, it'll be a question of adjustment more than anything.
Porter. Yes, sir. That's one you for a late night tonight. Very good, sir. I'll stand by.
That's all I want here. Come into the drawing office.
Hello, Bill. Shall I show you how the turkeys walk?
I'll give you such a slosh in a minute.
Mutiny, eh? In front of the men.
If I catch you turkey trotting me again,
If only Emily could see you now.
Where's everyone? Still over at the aerodrome. Oh, they get later and later. No wonder. Considering they're indulging in childish horseplay, I've been watching them through these glasses. I shall talk to Bill about it. I'm going over to see Charles. I'll try and hurry them back. You're not going out? Yes, I shan't be home to dinner. Oh, I hope you enjoy yourself, dear. Thank you. I hate being alone in this house. Right in the middle of nowhere. Oh, nonsense, Emily. I'll send Bill straight back to you. I've got to go and get the car anyway. Oh, thank you, dear. Goodbye, darling. Goodbye.
Come in.
Oh,
no.
Attention with the boss's wife.
How are you doing, darling?
all got up like a dog's dinner.
Your wife's waiting for you, Bill.
Right, he's waiting for Hoppy. Hoppy's been a Hoppy.
Reckons it,
9,
10.
out.
Working late as usual, Charles.
I'm afraid so, Don.
You ought to have married a test pilot, Dorothy, not a designer. Nothing I can do at the moment, is there, Charles?
No, let us see you at dinner.
Afraid not.
What? Go on.
Dining with some people at Amesbury. Probably be late, so don't wait up for me. Bye.
Bye. What are you doing?
I want my pearls.
I don't know why you keep them in the safe. They're not worth all that. You going out, too?
Yes. It's not much fun sitting at home with Emily.
No, I bet it isn't. Well, have a good time.
Will you be late?
Probably. Will you?
Probably.
Well, look in here when you put the car away and we'll walk across to the house together.
Oh, Charles. Can't you stop working just for tonight? I'll chuck my party, then we can have an evening alone together as we used to.
Oh, I'm sorry, darling. I'd like to very much, but I can't. I've got to finish this tonight.
Charles, sometimes I wonder if you haven't got petrol in your veins instead of blood. You're disgusting. Oh, no, Peter. If you don't stop, I shall scream for help.
You won't get any help in Salisbury. It's a cathedral city.
What's that got to do with it?
Rural beans. The place is stiff without. Shh. Good in a rough house.
Oh, no, Peter. If you don't stop talking nonsense, I shall go.
Oh, you're loving it, Dorothy. I wish you could see the sparkle in your eyes. Seriously, Dorothy.
No, I don't want any seriousness. I can get plenty of that at the aerodrome. I came out to be amused.
Yes, I know. That's how I started.
Aren't you amused now?
No. Dorothy. I want
some more coffee.
I want you.
Peter.
I mean it, Dorothy.
Peter, please get the bill. I promised to meet Charles at the drawing office.
Yes, I know. But I believe you love me and not Charles.
You mustn't say that.
Why not, if it's true? Is it?
You're Charles's friend.
You
haven't answered my question.
Peter, it's getting late. Please get the bill.
Waiter.
Hello, boy.
Finished?
Oh, quarters on the last nap. Another half hour or so. How about you?
About the same.
Sure, it's 10 o'clock. Do you mind if I get going?
Tired?
Oh, we have our wives to think about, boy.
I'm all right. Mine's out.
Yes, but I'm all wrong. Mine's in. Bye-bye, boy. Don't do anything I wouldn't.
Are you ready?
Not quite. I want to be certain that you understand, Dorothy. I love you. I'm not asking anything while we're living in Charles's house. But when the test's over...
Yes, Peter, when the test is over.
Come on, let's go.
Good night, madam. Good night, sir.
You're very quiet, darling.
I was just thinking.
Oh, I wouldn't bother to do that. Just relax.
There comes the relaxing.
You know, that looked extraordinarily like old Bill Madison.
So you don't think it's worth a penny?
I do not.
Would be at least 6 to 4. All right, have it your own way.
I shall.
So we meet on Thursday, eh?
Crack of dawn, top of the hill, by the gate.
Is this crack of dawn business not going to be too easy to explain to my wife?
Oh, she's your wife.
It's your crack of dawn.
You'd better go straight back. I promised Charles the drawing office after I put the car away.
All right. Don't worry, darling. Everything's going to work out all right.
All done, Porter?
Just finished, sir.
Mrs. Horton said she'd call for me, but I'm all in. If you'll see her, tell her I've gone across to the house, will you?
Very good, sir.
It's all right. I just saw Charles go over to the house.
Why have you come here? You promised.
I can't help it.
You shouldn't have done that.
I suppose I shouldn't. Till we've had a talk with Charles.
It's not only Charles, it's me. I haven't made up my mind.
I'll make it up for you.
We must forget this evening.
Well, I'll try.
We mustn't go across together. I'll go first.
See you in the morning.
There's nothing like breakfast to bring us back to Earth. Quiet conversation.
It's all right, I'll shut it.
Porter?
Good morning, sir.
If you see Mr. Madison or Mr. Farrow, tell them I want to see them in the drawing office.
Very good, sir.
Put me under the house. Hello, is that you, Dorothy? Listen, something very serious has happened.
Well, what is it, Charles? What? Safe's been tampered with.
Are you sure you shut it properly last night?
But of course I'm sure. I know it was shut properly. You can now... Is there anything missing?
No, there's nothing missing, but the things have been moved. You couldn't possibly have done it by putting your necklace away on the lower shelf.
Are you certain about this, Charles? You know, your things often get in a mess.
Yes, I know, but they may have been photographed. I shall have to report this to Dorothy at once. But I don't want to mention that you know the combination of the safe. At least, not at the moment. It may complicate matters. So don't say a word to anyone until I see you.
But, Charles...
What do you think of meedly-deedly, hopping about in a seedly-deedly, water right up to my middle-deedly?
What do you think of me?
Hello, Bill. On your way, big boy. This is a man's job.
Bill?
Mm-hmm.
What did you tell Emily about the fun and games you were having on the Salisbury Road last night, eh?
Fun and games on Salisbury Road?
Yes, about a mile up the road. Who was that queer-looking tough you were playing hopscotch with?
Well, that's if you've been seeing things. You better have this attended to, old boy. Anyway, what were you doing there?
I'd been to see a man about a dog.
Listen, you fellas, something pretty bad's happened.
What's the matter? We're out of scotch?
No, don't muck about. The safe's been opened in the night. Someone's been handling the plans.
Good heavens, I say that's serious.
What on earth are you talking about?
I always put the papers away in the same order in the same place. I don't suppose I can prove it, but I know for an absolute fact that those papers have been handled.
When did you last see them?
I put them away myself last night when I'd finished work. They've been put back in a different order, shoved away in a hurry. I don't suppose I can do anything about it now, but you fellas know nothing about it, I suppose.
Not a thing.
It's beyond me.
You didn't come back to this office again last night, did you?
I certainly didn't. I went for a stroll and then hopped off to Bye-Bye's.
No, I went off and had dinner at Amesbury.
Well, there's only one thing I can do. I must bring up old Hamilton.
Arthur Hamilton is here, sir.
Good.
Morning, Cairns. I want to speak to you about some confidential business.
That's the sort of business I like. Won't you sit down?
Very confidential business.
Oh, don't worry about Hooper. He's deaf and dumb.
Oh. Colonel Cairns, you once offered me certain assistance with regard to our experimental station at Chipton.
I did, and you kicked me downstairs.
What?
Figuratively speaking.
I was not then at liberty to disclose the facts.
And now they've been disclosed for you, I quite understand.
Today I have decided to take you into my confidence.
Do you know that's an odd coincidence? I just decided to take you into mine. Hooper, draw the curtains, will you?
But you said that he was...
Again, figuratively speaking.
This is no time for tricks, Cairns.
No, I know, juggler. This is a magic lantern show. Look. Rather a handsome view of your secret aerodrome, isn't it? Unfortunately, a little damaged by seawater.
Good heavens, man. Where'd you get these pictures from?
Out of the hat of a foreign agent whom we stopped at Harwich.
Do you mean there's been a leakage?
A self-respecting plumber would call it a flood. There's your aeroplane. I know. There's nothing particularly secret about this.
But in this rate I'll get hold of thine.
Now, don't be so impatient. There you are.
Good Lord.
This we collected last night from another agent. Southampton this time.
This is terrible.
Draw the curtains, Hooper.
Yes, sir.
Cairns, you've absolutely shattered me. Horton, our principal designer, telephoned me yesterday that he suspected interference. I gave him hell over the telephone, told him to tighten things up. I never dreamt of anything like this.
A bit of a nightmare, isn't it?
You don't seem to realize the vital importance of the work we do at Chipton. Do you know that only 4 men in the world know the actual secret? When I tell you that the basic principle
is the evolution of a supercharger. Main development, mixture of oxygen and high-octane fuel with special cooling device to prevent overheating. Result, 50% increase in power at high altitude. Of course, I'm not a technician, but that's a rough idea, isn't it?
How did you discover that?
From my usual channels.
Do you mean that one of your agents spied upon me?
Oh, it's not important enough job for an experienced man. Just an apprentice, you know.
Oh, this is an Air Ministry affair. This Horton supercharger is
going to put the British Air Force on top of the world, which is a very suitable place for an Air Force to be.
Good heavens, man, this is no time for flippancy.
In my job, it's better to be flippant than get in a flap.
So what are we going to do? We ought to surround the place with troops.
What for?
Well, to keep outsiders from getting near.
What about the insiders?
That, Colonel Cairns, I regard as an offensive suggestion. Everyone at Chipton enjoys the entire confidence of my directors and myself.
That must be very jolly for them, especially if they're wrong uns.
I resent that implication. They They've never let down the reputation of Calvert's.
What a moving thought.
We know how to pick men. Our motto is...
Calvert's expects that every man this day shall do his duty.
Precisely. Cairns, if that leakage isn't stopped...
The Air Ministry will never make you an archbishop, whatever it is, and I shall be beheaded. Don't worry, leave it to me.
Seems to be nothing else for it, unfortunately.
Well, thank you for your confidence. Goodbye, Sir Arthur.
Goodbye. I suppose you'll do your best. There's no one you actually suspect.
Everybody. I shall probably make a start on you. Well, that's what I call a thoroughly enjoyable afternoon. And now we'd better get busy. Get me SD6 on the private line.
Yes, I'm all right. What is it? Emily, leave that alone. What are you doing with it?
Well, I was just seeing if I could load it all right. It certainly goes off all right. What else do you want it for? Well, I'm sent to town for it. I'm not going to be left alone here, defenseless in the middle of Salisbury Plain, surrounded by spies.
Would you like me to lock it in the safe for you?
Oh, Charles, what a ridiculous idea. How did I use it if you locked it up in your safe? Anyway, it's your safe that's caused all the trouble.
There's the phone. For heaven's sake, don't load that gun again.
Oh, all right, all right.
Count,
all
don't...
right. Oh, Emily, do put that thing away. All our nerves are a bit on edge, but there's no need to let it upset you.
Hello? Who? Oh, Mr. Van Lutter. Yes? Oh, that's very good news. No, there's no fear of that. Besides, there's no reason why they should ever know. All right, I'll send it to the usual address. Yes. I'll leave that to you. Goodbye. What do you want?
I brought you these bills. Who were you talking to?
Oh, old Hamilton.
There's not been any more trouble.
No, there's been quite enough as it is. Whatever happens, Dorothy, I want you to keep your mouth shut about knowing the old combination of the safe.
Of course I shall.
I've lied like a trooper to keep you out of it. Otherwise, you'd be public suspect number one.
Oh, don't talk nonsense, darling. It must have been someone from outside.
How do you know?
Who else could it have been?
I'm not mentioning any names anyway. I've got a safe over here so as I can keep my eye on it, and when I'm out, I want you to keep your eye on it, too.
Charles, you're not suggesting
I'm not suggesting anything. I'm facing facts. Bill Madison had full access to it.
Bill Madison? Oh, darling.
And so had Peter.
Speak a bit slower, Peter. I can't hear you. Over to you.
I said blast you.
Get it that time? How long shall I run the blower today? Over to you.
I'll look it up. I'm speaking to myself. Over to me. I'll look it up. Dash, I can't. Charles has taken this safe and everything else into his study. Over to you.
Now listen carefully, Bill. Blast you and blast Charles.
I'm coming down.
Hello, Peter.
Oh, Dorothy, I haven't seen you for days. You've been avoiding me?
Peter, Charles is being absolutely extraordinary. The spy business. He's begun to suspect everybody.
What, do you mean he thinks it's an inside job?
He says it's possible.
Who does he favor?
He says that Bill Madison's always had access to the drawings.
So have I.
Oh, I know. It's ludicrous.
Oh, so I'm on his blacklist too, am I?
I can't think that he meant it, but he did mention your name.
That's not like Charles. You don't think anybody saw us leaving the drawing office that night, do you?
Oh, no, of course not.
Did he say anything else?
No.
Oh, well. Thank heaven, only 4 more days, and then we can have the whole thing out.
Peter, I don't want to talk about that now. Not until this is all over. It's made everything different.
Not to me.
Yes, but supposing things go wrong, and someone does get hold of Charles's plans, it'll ruin him.
Oh, Dorothy, stop it. You're getting like Emily. If you do that, we'll have to desert you.
Well, Olga Popovsky, the beautiful spy.
Would you like me to show you how the turkeys walk again?
Out of my way, hellhound. Come, Olga, to the castle. We'll take a dish of poison.
Oh, there you are at last.
Yes, here I am, darling. What's the matter? You're looking very green about the girls?
Well, I've been going through our passbook, and there are one or two entries I do not understand.
Got your pad with you, Peter?
Yeah, here you are.
We've just got time to check the figures before we clean up.
Yes, that suits me. Dear old-fashioned thing. I wish you wouldn't do this turkey toss nonsense. It's very, very painful.
Why, make you seen this, Bill?
Coming, Charles! Coming in, right.
Oh, it's for you, Bill.
Oh, thanks a lot. Hello.
Let's have a look at these figures.
Hello.
Yes.
I told you not to phone me here. What? No, I can't speak any louder. Shh. What do you mean? No, I can't possibly make it. I know. I know it's our last chance. Yes, I admit. But we haven't had much luck so far.
Yes.
Huh? So, of course, it's cutting things a bit fine, but what else can we do? 17th is the day. 7 a.m. at Barrow Down. All right, I'll try and make it. All right. See you tomorrow.
Nice work, Peter.
You are. Intrepid birdman makes good.
I'll check these with Bill.
Come on, Bill. Down to your homework. Nose to the grindstone. I'm going up to change. Well, thought you'd gone up to change.
Peter, did you hear what Bill said on the telephone?
No, not really. I was checking the figures with Charles. Why?
He mentioned the 17th. That's the day of the test.
Oh, what of it?
He said something about Barrow Down. That's where we saw him that night on the road.
Which, incidentally, he denied to me the next morning.
Who could he be seeing there at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning?
I wouldn't know. Could hardly be his blonde barmaid at that hour.
Could this meeting have something to do with the test?
Oh, Dorothy, you're not seriously suggesting.
Why not? He's had ample opportunity to get at the plans, as Charles said.
Yes, but Bill wouldn't do a thing like that. He's too much of a fool.
We're going to see about that. Don't you realize if it's Bill, it lets up everything for us.
And what are you going to do about it?
Get up early tomorrow morning. There he goes.
Yes, he's making for Barrow Down, all right. And there's his boyfriend. Looks as if he's handing something over. Well, what do we do now? Get out and stalk them?
This lane goes round by the back of the wood.
Well, come on then. Now, let's see if we can pick them up. Good heavens, look at that.
What on earth?
Horses! He's sneaking about watching form, and that little blighter that's with him is
Is what?
a tout.
They've collared him.
What are they taking from him?
Probably a stopwatch.
What are you going to do to him, kidnap him?
No, just take him for a ride and bump him off.
He's certainly getting it in the neck.
Not in the neck. Poor old Bill. Oh, that's made my day.
Hasn't helped us much, Peter.
I can't think about anything but Bill. He's going to have the sorest seat in Christendom.
What on earth are you doing there?
Just eating my breakfast, darling.
Well, why don't you sit down and make yourself comfortable?
Sit down. No, I'm quite all right where I am, thank you very much.
Come in.
I brought these over for Mr. Horton.
I'll fetch him.
Please do. I've been so looking forward to an opportunity of speaking to you alone.
What do you want to talk to me about?
About myself. Unfortunately, like most people at the present time, I'm suffering from a lack of capital.
Well, what has that got to do with me?
I thought your feminine intuition would grasp it at once. But no doubt Mr. Horton will understand when I tell him that I was working on the plane late on the night of the trouble, and that I at the drawing office at about 12 o'clock. I knew you'd see what I meant. Poor Mr. Horton.
How dare you?
I in the order. But you and Mr. Thurlow will be in a very delicate position when I tell Mr. Horton. And Mr. Horton will be in a tight corner when I tell Sir Arthur Hamilton.
Blackmail.
I couldn't have put it better myself. I hesitated to mention it before because I thought you'd be unwise enough to go to the police. But the test will be 3 days from now, so there wouldn't be time for the police to do anything, would there?
I shall tell Mr. Horton.
Mr. Thurlow will be in a very difficult position about the plans. Personally, I anticipate an arrest within 24 hours.
How much do you want?
I think £200 would cover both aspects, don't you?
But I haven't got it.
No doubt Mr. Thurlow will be glad to make it a Dutch party. He's very modern.
Where can we find £200?
Well, that's your business. I give you 2 days to raise the cash. I shall be waiting for you about 9 o'clock the night before the test, where the lane joins the main road. And please remember, Mrs. Horton, Sir Arthur Hamilton will be here the following morning.
Do you want me, Porter?
Yes, sir.
Porter's brought your drawing. I told him that I'd give it to you, but he wouldn't trust me.
Well, things have tightened up a bit recently, haven't they?
They have indeed, sir.
I hope that you will believe that I'm reliable, Porter.
I must apologize, madam, that I seemed insistent. I'm sure I understand the situation.
He was a queer bird. Clever worker.
Very. Charles,
Yes?
can I speak to you for a minute?
Well, I've a devil of a lot to do, Dot. I've got to complete the report on the blower.
I only wanted to ask you, could you possibly let me have my dress allowance?
What do you want to buy?
A fur coat.
How much you want?
£200.
Oh, darling.
But, Charles, we've been here nearly 6 months, and I've hardly spent a penny on myself.
I know. You've been grand the way you've stuck it down here. You shall have it, bless you.
Oh, thank you, Charles.
We'll go up to town together next week and have a regular shopping orgy.
But I wanted today.
Well, you can't buy it in this part of the world.
Oh, yes, I can. I've seen something in Salisbury. I want it for Saturday.
The ministry bloke will be much too interested in my supercharger to notice you.
But, Charles, I'm serious.
Darling, I'm sorry I haven't got it. Next week, yes, if all goes well, there'll be plenty in the kitty, but at the moment we're absolutely dry.
But, Charles...
No, I'm sorry, darling. Now, do be sensible. Surely you can wait till next week.
Hello, Charles.
Hi, Bill.
Finished your report yet?
Yes, it's all set, locked away in the safe for the final plans waiting till the day after tomorrow.
There's the stuff.
Well, no more.
No more. I haven't had any yet.
Where's Peter?
Oh, I expect he's been bumped off in the study. Peter! Time for a cocktail.
Coming.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, are you all right?
I'm practically dying of thirst.
Yeah, so am I.
Hello, Bill. You better make the most of your drink, hadn't you? won't enjoy your dinner very much.
Why not?
Well, you'll have to sit down.
That joke's reached rock bottom.
You're telling me.
Yes, that's right, darling. No more.
Sorry I'm late. Hasn't anyone had a drink?
Not yet.
You're all mixed.
How are you, Peter?
Oh, I'm fine, fine.
Can you meet me here at 1 o'clock?
Oh, Charles.
He's sleeping in the dressing room. He won't hear.
Okay.
Can I give you chaps a hand?
Yes, yes, old boy. Put it there.
Let Mr. City, I want a drink.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, success to crime.
Oh, Bill, don't say that. It's tempting Providence.
Oh, darling.
Yes, I think I will take a little something for my nerves.
What about my nerves?
Over to Emily.
Who the devil can that be?
Probably a message from the aerodrome.
We'd better see who it is, Charles. The servants are busy getting dinner.
All right.
Good evening.
Evening.
I'm sorry to disturb you, but I've ditched my car up the lane.
Yeah?
And the watchman said I might perhaps be able to telephone a garage from here.
Of course. Come in.
Thanks.
Pretty thick, isn't it?
Yes.
Last night, with this mist on the plane, the watchman sent this gentleman up. He's ditched his car in the lane.
Oh, you're not hurt, I hope.
No, I'm fine, thanks. Sound in wind and limb.
This is my wife, Mr.
Stuart's my name.
How'd you do?
How'd you do? I'm sorry to butt in like this, but it's the mist. Have a whiskey. Thanks very much.
Mr. Thurlow, Mr. and Mrs. Medicine.
Good evening.
How do you do? How'd you come to ditch the car? I was playing golf in Minton Downey. Short cut back to Salisbury.
Oh, but this lane leads in the opposite direction.
I missed the road at the bend near the house and ditched the car completely. I may have done in the front axle. If I could ring up the local garage.
Oh, that means a crane, if you've done the axle in Salisbury.
I doubt if they'll turn up in this mist.
Well, I'd better have a crack at it.
All right. Phone's in here.
Thanks.
There it is. Got a list of the best garages in Salisbury somewhere.
Thanks very much. Sorry to be such a nuisance. Do you mind if I take off my coat? I don't want to catch a chill when I go out of here.
No,
Oh, don't you bother about me. I should be all right. You go back to your guest.
What do you make of that, Charles?
Seems a decent sort of fellow.
Sounds plausible enough.
Just the way that sort get away with it. It's a funny sort of shortcut from Minton to Salisbury.
If the garage won't turn out, we'll have to give him some food and put him up for the night.
Well, don't blame me if we all wake up and find ourselves dead in our beds in the morning. Are you going to risk it, Charles?
I suppose I've got to. He's only a stranded motorist.
I wonder. Anyway, I wouldn't leave him alone with that too long.
Yes, I'll hold on. Hello. Yes, I understand. Good night. I say this is terrible. I can't get any of them to come out. They say the mist's much too thick.
I expected that. You'll have to stay with us for the night.
Well, that's terribly kind of you. I'm afraid I'm being the most awful nuisance.
No, not at all. We've plenty of room. This used to be the old farmhouse before the aerodrome was built.
Any luck?
I'm afraid not. They all funked the mist.
I've told Mr. Stewart we'll give him some food and put him up.
Then I'd better slip up the road to the car and get my bag.
Well, one of the men will do that.
Yes, of course. Now, would you like a wash?
Shall I tell them to wait dinner?
You go in and start. Mr. Stewart won't mind.
Oh, of course not. I'll phone the aerodrome about the bag.
you find out the aerodrome?
No.
Why?
Listen, Charles, I've just had a look inside that fellow's overcoat. The name tab's been cut out.
Oh, what about it?
People who don't like their names in their coats are the kind of people you've got to watch.
What do you suggest we do? Chat him up in the cellar?
No, but we ought to check up on him.
How?
I'll fetch his bag myself after dinner. At the same time, I'll have a look inside the car, if there is a car.
Yeah.
Then we'll get onto the garages and see if he really did phone.
Okay. Ah, there you are.
Sorry I've been so long.
Not at all. The dining room's in here.
Thought you were never coming.
No, don't do that.
I must be able to look at you.
Peter, you promised.
I'll never promise not to look at you. It's all right. Everybody's asleep.
No, they're not. I heard that man Stuart moving about until a few moments ago.
It's all right.
Peter, listen. This is urgent. I'm being blackmailed.
What?
Yes, by Porter. He saw us in the drawing office that night. He wants £200 before the test, or else he's going to tell Charles.
Hell. Much better that we tell Charles.
Not as easy as all that. There's all this trouble about the plans. Porter must have seen us in front of that open safe. He threatened to tell Hamilton, too.
Well, of course, if he does that, we're sunk.
Yes, I know.
What have you done about it?
I hardly had time to think. I practically promised to pay him.
Where are we going to get the money from? I'm flat broke.
Oh, Peter.
How much can you raise?
£9.
Well, that's going to get us a long way.
I tried to borrow from Charles, but he can't let me have anything until next week.
I'd like to meet Mr. Porter.
That'd only make it worse. We've got to find a way out somehow. We've only one more day. He must have the money tomorrow night. What's that?
It's nothing.
I thought I heard someone in the corridor.
Oh, nonsense. You're getting nervy.
Oh, Peter, what are we going to do?
Is there any chance of borrowing anything from Bill?
Not a hope.
Well, we've got to fix that little rat somehow. We can't pay him, so...
Peter, promise me you won't do it. There is someone there. Quick, quiet.
Get behind the curtain. He's gone into the study. Give him time to open the safe if that's what he's after, but no matter what happens, you stay put.
Hello, you gave me quite a start. Didn't you want the light? Couldn't find the switch. So I remembered where I left my coat.
Do you want something out of it?
Just came down to get my pipe. Usually read until about 2.
You a fellow sufferer, or are you just walking in your sleep?
No, I just had 1 or 2 jobs to clear up.
Frightfully conscientious people you are down here. The amount of work you do must be bad for you.
Do you want anything else?
I don't think so, thanks. Good night. Oh, I think I'd rather like to have something to read, a newspaper or something.
There's one in there. I'll get it.
Oh, don't you bother. I'll get it myself.
Here you are.
Oh, I've seen that one. Oh, Oh, is that today's newspaper?
Yes.
I wonder if the mist cleared off here.
Yes, it has. I looked out just a couple of minutes ago.
Good. Don't want to get hung up here in the morning.
No.
Feel sorry for you being stuck in this one-horse place. Still, I suppose it has its compensations.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, nothing. I never do mean anything in the middle of the night. Do you? Good night.
Yes,
I'm afraid so.
What did he come down for?
To fetch his pipe.
Do you believe that?
Well, he hasn't touched the safe.
Peter, shall we have to tell Charles about this?
How can we? Apart from the question of whether he spotted you or not, what was I doing here?
Oh, you can make some excuse.
It'll have to be a pretty good one. Don't forget I'm on Charles's blacklist.
Yes, but supposing Stuart is up to something.
I don't think he is. Not yet, anyway. I'm going to camp out here for the rest of the night. If he doesn't come down again, we'll know he's okay. And we can get rid of him first thing in the morning.
Yes,
Now, you better get off to bed. We'll have Emily down in a minute, and if she's half asleep, she'll probably shoot straight. Good night.
Oh, Anne, leave Mr. Stewart's bag over there, will you?
Yes, ma'am.
What happened?
Absolutely nothing. He never came near the room again. He's just what he said he was, a stranded motorist.
They've got Stewart's car out of the ditch, and there's no damage to the front axle. I suppose it's all right to let him go.
The only other alternative was to have him shot at dawn by Emily. 9 o'clock now. Pity.
You think I ought to ring up old Hamilton?
Nobody ought to ring up old Hamilton, ever. Besides, we don't want him to think we've been infected with his spy mania, do we?
Well, it was you who made the fuss when he arrived.
Oh, I hadn't checked up on him then.
And now you have.
Oh, for heaven's sake, Charles, I've rung up all the garages and they've confirmed everything he said. The fellow's absolutely all right. There's no need to make all this fuss, is there?
All right, all right.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Stewart.
Morning, Mrs. Horton.
I hope you slept well.
Fine, thanks. And you?
Fine, thanks.
Well, thank heavens the car's all right. So I think I'll be getting along. I can't tell you people how grateful I am for your hospitality.
Not at all.
Lots of luck with the test.
Thanks very much.
Well, goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr. Stewart.
And thanks again. So long, Thurlow. I'll be seeing you again one of these days, I hope. Goodbye.
I hope so. Bye-bye. It's that. That'll be all right.
Stop fussing. I'm going to get some breakfast.
Darling, I want to talk to you. I want to ask your advice. Do you think I ought to ring up old Hamilton?
Oh, no, I wouldn't.
What if I was right to let that fellow go?
Well, what else could you do? As Peter said, you must...
Oh, I don't go by what Peter says. More than I used to.
What do you mean by that?
Well, hasn't it struck you he was a bit odd just now?
Odd?
Yes. Last night he seemed to have the wind up about Stewart, and this morning he laughed it off. I got a feeling there may have been something between those two.
But they're complete strangers.
How do we know? Supposing they met last night when we were all in bed.
Charles, if you're going to start about Peter all over
I've got
again...
the impression that Peter's got something on his mind. I also happen to know he's pretty broke. And it isn't a nice thought when one remembers what certain people would give for official...
You're mad. I've never heard such utter and complete nonsense.
Then what is the matter with Peter? He keeps on fooling all the time, I know, but somehow it doesn't ring true.
It's your imagination.
Well, I hope so, Doc. You don't expect I enjoy these blasted doubts, do you? I'm every bit as fond of Peter as you are. But I'll tell you this, my work comes first. And I'd have no mercy on anyone if I thought they were letting me down.
Charles, supposing it were me.
Don't fool. This thing's rather getting me down.
I'm not fooling, Charles. Supposing it were me.
Well, I don't expect I could forgive even you.
It all sounds terribly chancy to me. You say it is technically possible. I suppose that must be the solution. Well, now, look here. You'd better tackle this yourself. Go straight over to Netherhaven, and I'll get onto the Air Ministry and fix things up. Yes, I should see you there about 11:30 tomorrow morning, if all goes well. And don't let me down. That was SD6.
Has he got the Shipton business taped, sir?
He has. Get on to Netherhaven and tell them that he'll be turning up. Then fix me a time with the Air Ministry. Priority.
Yes, sir.
I shan't go down to Shipton myself till tomorrow morning. Nothing can happen until then. I shall want you with me, Hooper.
Thank you, sir. Shall I contact Sir Arthur Hamilton?
Certainly not. He'd probably refuse to have us.
You're not passing on the dope to him, then?
Of course not. He'd have a fit of apoplexy or else cancel the test, which would upset all our arrangements.
You know, it's amazing the way these big businessmen always seem to be dead from the neck up.
That's a terrible thought, Hooper. You'll probably end in the city yourself.
Thank you, sir.
You fellas nearly ready?
We'll be ready when you are.
All right, I'll go and get my helmet.
Red drive's all right now.
Everything's all right, is it?
Hello? What are you doing here?
I've been waiting to see you all the morning.
Why, what's the matter?
It's about Charles. Pete, I know it's ridiculous, but he really is getting suspicious of you now.
What did he say?
Nothing definite, but if we don't keep Porter, I don't know what will happen.
I know. Look, I'll see Porter tonight and try and stall him until the test's over.
Oh, you haven't got a chance.
You leave it to me. It's only bluff. After all, he's just as open to suspicion for hanging around the drawing office as we are.
What about afterwards? If we don't pay him, he's bound to tell Charles.
I've thought about that, too. Dorothy, for all our sakes, we must go through with the test. Then I'll have some money. After that, well, there's only one way.
What's that?
I'm due to go on leave directly it's over, tomorrow afternoon. And you must come with me.
But what about Charles?
You must think of me now, Dorothy. Will you do it?
Oh, I don't...
Dorothy, you've got to be strong about this. You must make up your mind now. Is it yes or no?
Yes, Peter.
Oh, excuse me. I just want to remind you that we have a date tonight. I'm so glad. How disappointing. I thought I had a date with a lady.
You're dealing with me now, Porter.
Too bad. I never let sentiment interfere with business. So long as you've got the money with you, you're very welcome.
I've not got the money.
You can't afford not to have it.
Oh, yes, I can. What were you doing hanging around the drawing office that night?
Working on the plane.
You had access to the plans just as much as we did.
The person who photographed those plans had the combination of the safe. I didn't. I think I can call that bluff, Mr. Thurlow.
Now, listen, Porter. You can't get blood out of a stone. We haven't got the money. After the test, it'll be a different story.
Very different, and a different locality. You and Mrs. Horton will be off to Timbuktu. I shall have the expense of following you. Come on, let me have it. Or I'll tell the whole story to Hamilton in the morning.
You'll what?
That's my last word.
Dashed lucky escape. Anyway, we know now where the leakage was.
Certainly looks like it. I don't know what Cairns is worrying about.
Well, he's fussing because he didn't spot it himself. He's losing his grip of the situation. Where is Cairns, anyway?
He's out there now, questioning the mechanics.
What good will that do? That fellow Porter was out without a pass with this in his pocket.
And it's a copy of certain calculations made in my secret report.
Well, come along, Hooper. We'd better go in and take our medicine.
Then you really think it was Porter?
Well, of course it wasn't. It won't do him any harm to think so. A soft answer, Hooper, but I'm afraid it won't turn away the wrath.
Ah, there you are, Cairns. Made any fresh discoveries?
Afraid not, Sir Arthur.
No, of course not. There are no fresh discoveries to make. Everything's been cleared up. But it wasn't cleared up before.
Well, don't rub it in, Sir Arthur. It certainly does look as if my department may have tumbled down rather badly.
Your department?
Still, there is one point I should like to make. I always did maintain that this was an inside job.
Horton was never a Calvert man, was he, Horton?
He was only on a temporary basis. He had a good enough record.
It's always very difficult to tell how or why a man first slips out.
Well, this is where we get slippy. Here's the big white chief from the Air Ministry.
Oh, we better get out to meet them. You needn't stay if you want to get out.
I think I'll stay if you don't mind, Sir Arthur. You know, I might come in useful yet.
Where's Philip? I told him to get some sleep. He'll be here in a minute. Come on.
Peter. Oh, hello, darling. Look, I'm late. I just saw the bigwig's plane arrive from my window. Peter, did you see Porter last night? Yes, I saw him. What happened?
I got him to say he'd wait for the money.
And then?
I left him and came straight back.
You're sure that's all? You didn't say anything happened?
No, of course not. But it certainly is lucky for us, this accident.
Almost unnaturally lucky, Peter.
Yes, it does seem like that, doesn't it? Well, I must go, really.
But, Peter...
No, I'll see you after the test. I'm all set, Charles. How about you?
You're absolutely clear on these adjustments?
Yes, I think so, but you better let me have that page of instructions.
This is the only copy. It mustn't leave my position.
If you want me to get the best out of your perambulator, I've got to be able to check up, haven't I?
Yes, I know, but I can't let you have this.
Well, it's perfectly safe with me in the plane, you old fossil. Oh, come on, Charles, they're waiting.
All right, good luck.
All right.
Try your best, boy.
Hello, Mr.
Brown.
Shall we make a start?
Yes, all right. I want to see what you can do in the air. Well, if she flies as well as she looks, she ought to be all right, but the trouble's inside, isn't it?
Yes, it is rather.
Everything seems to have gone off all right, sir.
Things are only just beginning to happen. I think we shall soon have our bird in the hand.
Hey, Bill. Yes? What will you give me if I pull this off? I'll let you turkey trot me all day tomorrow. Pretty low ceiling. I'm afraid you won't see much of the fun.
I suggest we all go into the drawing office and keep communication by radio. Come along, Sir Arthur.
Well, you'd better wait out here. Quite sure you know the drill?
Perfectly clear, sir.
As soon as SD6 arrives, bring the negative over to me.
Where will you be?
Probably celebrating in the house.
Hope to heaven Peter hasn't forgotten the gadgets.
It's all right. He's got the dope up with him.
But the orphan, if he crashes, we'll have to work the whole thing out again.
Hello, Peter. Can you hear me? Over to you.
Hello, Charles. Everything's okay. I'll soon be making my height.
May as well let me have the octane consumption on each 1,000. Don't forget to adjust that cooler. Over to you.
Don't you worry, Charles. Everything's going according to plan. Temperature's perfectly steady. I'll go over to the blower at 12,000.
Okay, let me know when you do that. Over to you. Hello? Hello? Hello, Peter. Can you hear me? Over to you. The devil doesn't answer me. What's the matter with you, Peter? Why don't you answer me? Over to you again. devil's the matter with you? Come along, Peter. Don't go to sleep on a job like this. Over to you again.
Hello? Yes, of course I'm all right. Allowing for wind, I should say I'm 30 miles southwest of the aerodrome. I'm going over to the blower now.
Gentlemen, that's that. It'll be down in a minute. Everything okay? Not a hitch. Put it there. Oh, wonderful.
Many congratulations, Horton.
That's it. Thank you. Well, come on. Everything all right, Peter?
Perfect. Not a hitch anywhere.
Good stuff, Peter. Good
stuff.
Thank you, Sir Arthur,
but the credit should go to Horton, you know. Funny to think of all the troubles we've been through on account of this little piece of paper.
Yes.
Do you find it useful up there, Vernon?
Oh, very. I couldn't have done without it.
I thought as much. Well, I expect you'd rather take charge of this for the present, Horton.
Thanks. Now, I suggest we all go over to the house and have a drink.
2 drinks. Come on.
And a stiff one for you, Peter.
Thanks. I can do with it.
I'll bet.
Oh, Charles, we made it, eh?
Yes.
Gentlemen, here's to the old invention and her designer.
Yeah. And I think on this auspicious occasion, I might be permitted to say that
There will be no speeches. I second that, Sir Arthur.
Well, boys, I just tucked the bigwig from the airman strap in his pantechnicon and sent him home. Get any reaction from him?
Oh, rather terrific. He was so impressed that he was sort of,
Egg-bound?
That's right. What?
Well, if you fellows don't mind, I think I'll slip upstairs and have a bath and change. I'm off on leave this afternoon.
It's just a minute, please. There's something I want to say to all you gentlemen. You think you're out of the wood. Unfortunately, you're not. Those final plans of yours have been copied.
What on earth are you talking about? The leakage was stopped in time.
No, it wasn't.
But Porter, the stuff was on him.
Porter had nothing whatever to do with it. Porter was just a plain, straightforward blackmailer. The stuff in his pockets must have been planted on him.
What are you getting at, Colonel?
There's a lot to be cleared up yet. I've given orders that no one's to leave the aerodrome without a written permit from me.
But if it wasn't Porter, who was it?
Somebody here. Why not you?
What on earth are you talking about?
You wrote a letter to a certain Mr. Van Lutter of All American Airways. As a result of that letter, you stand to receive a good deal of money almost immediately. Would you care to give your explanation?
Good Lord, Horton. Is this true?
Gentlemen, come into the study. There you are. There's the whole correspondence. You'll see that I've accepted a contract from All American Airways to work for them on the expiration of my contract with you, Sir Arthur.
But you're not leaving Calvert's?
If I may remind you, Sir Arthur, your option on my services expired over a month ago.
I see. Well, of course, that accounts for it. Perhaps you'd like a look, Sir Arthur. And the money you are to receive is an advance on the signing of the contract.
That's right.
Well, I can only apologize, Mr. Horton.
It's the very least you can do.
Yes, that's the very least that you can do. I knew I'd get you out of it, old boy.
You seem to have made a fine mess of this, Cairns.
Well, I've apologized to Mr. Horton, Sir Arthur.
I'll go and get that bath if I'm allowed to leave the room without an escort.
Peter,
Hello, darling. You ready?
you promised to tell me the truth about last night.
Not now. The sooner we're out of here, the better.
But I must know the truth about Porter.
Oh, don't worry about him. We've got to think about ourselves now. And there's no time to lose. Look, we can't talk here. Come into my room.
Thank you. Come here, please, gentlemen, quick.
Look. What the dickens is this plane landing here for?
Bringing back some lost property, Sir Arthur.
Listen, Dorothy, there's no time for all this. If you're coming with me, it's got to be now.
No, Peter. Not until you tell me the truth. Did you kill Porter? Peter, why don't you answer me? Perhaps I'm wrong about this, but how can I know unless you tell me? What are you doing? Oh, Peter, help me, help me. Tell me what did happen.
Where's Mr. Horton and Colonel Cairns?
In the study, sir.
Stuart, good Lord, where on earth you sprung from? Got it?
Yes, here you are, sir.
What on earth that?
Photographs of Horton's master drawings and instructions, which were transferred in midair during the test to the trailer on Stuart's machine.
Do you realize what you're implying?
Peter, I don't believe it.
I'll prove it to you. Hooper, just nip upstairs and keep an eye.
Yes.
I still don't understand how you got onto it.
Stuart here managed to intercept a letter of Thurlow's arranging for a plane to meet him and take over the photographs. So we stopped that and sent up Stuart in one of our own planes dressed up for the part.
Well, how did you intercept it? When you were here before, you seemed quite a harmless sort of an ass.
I came down in the night and looked through the letters in the mailbox. I took yours to Van Lutter, Horton, and one from Thurlow to a certain Mr. Robinson, whom we know so much about that we could read the code.
He made a dash for it, sir. He got out by the window.
What's that? Come along, quick.
Why did you do it?
For the same reason that Porter blackmailed you, for money. I never meant to kill him.
You cheated your friends and betrayed your country.
Dorothy, before I took this job, I was flat broken. I was going crazy with debt. Then I was offered money to do this. Plenty of money. I've always wanted. I have conscience over these things. They've never meant a thing to me.
And you dare tell me that you loved me.
That was true. I do love you. And I'll love you as long as I live. Time's up, Dorothy.
What are you going to do?
Make a dash for it.
You're not going to get away. I'm not going to let you.
But you can't want them to get me, Dorothy. You can't hate me as much as that.
I don't hate you, but you tried to ruin Charles's life, all our lives.
Let go! For God's sake, let go!
He won't get far. I took the precaution of having his tank emptied. He can't have more than half a gallon. Now, about 10 minutes. Realize the thing is dead off around it. Get down on tight. Where is it?
Peter.